Hey friends, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and I am so excited that you decided to take time out of your day to spend with me because today we are doing some reading, okay? For the month of July, I decided that I'm going to focus solely on sequels just because I'm in the middle of so many series and I want to wrap some of them up or at least catch up to the point where I can start new series because it seems like every book that comes out is a part of a series and I don't have the brain space until I free it up from some of these other series. So yeah, this is going to be a continuing series vlog. These are some videos that I do all the time, usually at least one a month or very close to it. So nothing new here on this channel. But anyway, I don't know how many books I plan on reading. I'm just gonna keep reading until I need to post it. So with all that being said, let us get into the books and do some reading. So, as you will have seen, the first book for this vlog is going to be When a Wolf Loves the Moon by Granger. This is the third book in the Drew Collins series, and I have been screaming about the Drew Collins series since I first picked it up in December. It has quickly become one of my all-time favorite series. Like, I love the crap out of these books. So to tell you a little bit about what's going on, we're following Maggie Gray, and she ends up finding out about this magical HBCU that is in underground Atlanta, and it is where all of the magical Black people go to get their education. And this Drew Collins is special because it was, I think, the first of its kind. And we have people of all ages coming and learning about their history, their heritage, their powers, and getting degrees and, just making it do what it do. And so Maggie, once she gets there, she becomes friends with a siren, a witch, and a nymph, and a black cat named Quan, and all the things start happening. Okay. So, oh, I don't know if this will be considered a spoiler. I wouldn't think so, but I personally feel like most things aren't spoilers, but I know how some of y'all are. So I'm gonna keep it cute, and I'm just gonna say the way that I love Namir. Namir is the coach of some sport. Hell, I don't know. And he is a werewolf. And when I tell you, I am obsessed, all caps, with Namir. And I am usually not a werewolf girl. Like, I'm not reading the werewolf books. I'm not checking for the werewolf if they come up in any other books. Like, I'm just not that type of girly. But when I tell you Namir made me change my mind, he made me change my mind. Like, I love that man, all caps. And I'm just obsessed with everything that he does. And if I was to meet Namir in real life, I would fold like a pretzel. It just is what it is. And I really enjoyed Maggie's character arc in this specific one because the first two books, oh, did I hear my voice crack? Oh, wow. The first two books in this series, we are so busy learning about the world and about, oh yeah, there's a murder mystery that's a part of this as well. So we spend the first two books learning about that, learning about the history of the world and just all the things that are going on that we didn't really get to learn about Maggie's power. So it's like, when we gonna find out what Maggie can do? Because it's getting a little boring. My girl is a little basic, and if Maggie is the main character of this series, like, she got to be able to do some shit, right? And so I was very happy to see, to get a taste of what our girl Maggie Gray can actually do. And look, it's a baddie. But we knew this already. We knew this already. And I will say that this particular book at some point had me pissed off at everybody. And I loved all of the characters, but I just feel like things have progressed to a point where, everybody, you're gonna have to have that moment where y'all kind of have like an argument or a disagreement, and everybody just kind of needs to separate for a second, and then you can come back together and get it together. And this was that book, and I'm just like, if y'all don't get y'all shit together, you pissing me off. Everybody was pissing me off. And yeah, the way I want to tell y'all all things about this. I feel like I should have done like a spoiler filled vlog for this series, because I just want to talk about all the things. There's so many things, and I feel like I can't say anything, especially because this is the third book. But what I will say is, if you're looking at me holding this brick, because it is indeed a brick, it's a big ass book. And no matter what, I always fly through these in like 24 hours. Always, every time. Each of the three books I have flown through in 24 hours. And that should tell you something with how thick these books are. They are such quick reads, and you're just like immersed in this world, and you just gotta know what's gonna happen next. It's like some good ass reality TV. Like it just gives. It gives. And I love how black this series is. And it's just really cool to see, all of the creatures in things that we normally don't get to see representation that looks like us. This author's that, and I'm just along for the ride. Whatever Granger decides to give us, I'm going to eat it up. And I am just so happy that I stumbled upon this series, because, like I said, it's one of my favorites. But anyway, since I can't say much else, I'm gonna stop talking now, because I could just gush about this series and this book like. And you know what? I said I was gonna stop talking, but I'm not. This series, it's like each book that I read becomes my favorite. Of course, The Secret World of Maggie Gray, amazing. But then I read The First Family, and I'm like, oh, I like this one even better. But then I read this one, and I was like, oh, it's even better than the last two. Like, how are you doing this, Granger? How? I don't know how, but I'm here for it. I love it, and I'm gonna keep picking these up. Okay, friends, let us talk about Dark Restraint by Katee Roberts. And this is the 7th book in the Dark Olympus series. So the overarching plot that we got going on is like, this is a Greek myth retelling, and the gods that we are familiar with, they are more of a position instead of just being a person. Some of them are legacy titles that can be passed down to their children. Some of them have to be voted on. It's very political in that sense. And so in each book, we follow different characters and couples. And so in this particular installment, we are following Ariadne and the Minotaur. And so, to not spoil the plot, Ariadne and the Minotaur grew up together, but were, never really anything more than friends. And so they kind of go back and forth throughout this book about whether or not to actually be in a relationship or just, not. And it's more of a dark romance than any of the other ones in the series, but it's not that dark. As somebody who doesn't read dark romance, but just watches a lot of booktubers and book content creators that actually read dark romance, I feel like this is actually not dark, but it has themes Okay, and it has some things that are going on. So if you're going to read this, check the trigger warnings for any book in the series, actually. And if you do want to pick this up, that you definitely need to read it in publication order, just because there is one main big plot and then like individual plots with the couples, but you learn more information in each book about the big overarching plot. So yeah, I personally gave this 4 stars. It's not my favorite in the series, but I had a good time reading it. It was a really quick read. This one was fairly short. I don't know if all of them are this short, but this one was it 300 pages? No, it wasn't even 300 pages. So, a very quick read. I I like Ariadne as a character. I cannot say that I like the Minotaur, but I like how protective he is of Ariadne. I guess I can put it that way. Um, it's probably not the best book to vlog now that I'm thinking about it, because there's just not much that I can say about this. If you know Katee Robert, you know she is a very spice forward fantasy romancy type writer. Um but I just have a lot of fun with her writing overall. I know I'm going to be like engrossed and have a good time. And so yeah, 4 stars for this one. I'm excited to like finish off the series. Can y'all hear them doing the yard? I hate the summertime, and I'm gonna say it every time. Somebody always got to be doing their yard. Ugh. But anyway, I really enjoy Katee Roberts' writing, and I just have fun with it. It's not anything that I, like literature by any sense, but it is fun, spicy time. So if you are looking for that, then why not check this series out? It is very long though, so but I'm committed. 7 books in, and I definitely plan on reading all 10. And yeah. I think my favorite in the series still up to this point is the first book, which is Neon Gods. But here we are. And yeah, sorry I don't have a lot to say about this. I didn't think about the fact that I wouldn't be able to say a lot just because it's short, and I didn't want to spoil anything for you. But I read it, so here we are. We got to document this progress, okay? Because it's another series that I am not caught up with. I'm caught up with what I own physically, but Cruel, nope. I was going to name the 5th book. Sweet Obsession is book number 8, and it is out. I just haven't bought it yet. And then I think book number 9 is coming out in December. We're almost there though, so I'm gonna keep pushing, and hopefully I can wrap this series up as the 10th book is published. So yeah, I'm just rambling now. I'll let you go. Okay, y'all, so I am ready to talk about Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales by Heather Fawcett. This is the 3rd and final book in the Emily Wilde series, and I'm kind of sad that it's over, but I feel like this is a good ending spot as well, because I feel like more books in the series just kind of would have been dragging on what needed an end, if that makes sense. So in this one, I can't really tell you a whole lot of what it's about because this is like a continuous series, but we are following Emily and Wendell as they go on yet another adventure together. This one is mainly set in the Fae world, and that is all I'm going to tell you, basically, because anything else will kind of spoil the first two books for you. My thoughts on this book: I felt like the banter and the humor and like the witty comebacks between Emily and Wendell were kind of missing in this one, and that kind of made me sad because I feel like especially in the second book, like the banter was bantering and I was just very shocked. Like I really enjoyed Emily and Wendell's relationship and their banter in the second book, and then to get to this one and that not have been kept up just kind of made me like So yeah, that was a little disappointing. Plot wise, I do feel like there was a lot going on in this book. And not a bad way, there were just a lot of things happening, a lot of storylines that needed to be wrapped up, all the things. So it was a lot going on, but I just didn't find it as compelling as the other ones. And I think I know why, but not really. And I just think that maybe I don't know. I lied that quick. I'm not really sure why I didn't connect to this one as much as I did the first two, but it was just lacking a little bit for me, which was very disappointing, especially with it being the ending of a series. If I had to rank these, Map of the Otherlands, which is the second book, would be my favorite, then Encyclopedia of Fairies, the first book, and then this one would be last. I did rate this a 3.5 star. I just, it was still good. It wasn't as good as the rest of the series to me. I found myself even like rolling my eyes at Emily and kind of being annoyed at her, which has never happened in the other two books. So I'm like, what the heck? What? Why? Like Emily, I really love her as a main character. I like her personality. I like everything about her. So for me to get like a little annoyed and irritated at her, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Don't make me have anything but positive feelings towards Emily. Like that's wrong, okay? And I felt like this story wrapped up about 80% into the book, but the author maybe wanted it to be a longer book, or I don't know, because it just felt like everything had wrapped up but we were still going, and like the last 20% was this made up storyline just to keep it going. Like it didn't even feel like it needed to happen, or that it even like felt necessary to the story. So that was a little annoying as well, because like if you're done, you just done. You don't have to make up anything to hit a certain page count. But overall, I liked this. It wasn't the best ending to the series, but I didn't hate it. 3.5 stars is not a bad rating. Overall, I will continue to recommend this series, and yeah, it feels good to finish a series. It feels really good to be finished with the series. So anyway, yeah, that's all I got. Hey, so long time no see. It's only been a couple of seconds for you, but it has been some weeks for me. And yeah, I've been reading, but it's just been a little difficult to get in front of the camera, so I haven't. So, yeah, this vlog has essentially turned into the entire month of July. And that's okay because I don't think I actually read a whole lot. So, yeah. I'm going to be sitting in the same spot in the same outfit because I refuse to go put on a different shirt for I'm not doing all that. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm hot. And yeah, it's just not going to happen. So be prepared to see me sitting like this in this until I end the video. Okay, so you can see my laptop. That's why I keep notes while I'm reading books because my memory is non-existent. And if I don't write notes down, I forget what I want to come tell y'all about these books. So I finished Drown Me with Dreams by Gabi Burton. This is the sequel slash finale to the Sing Me to Sleep duology. And yeah. So first off, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Sing Me to Sleep, and then we'll get into my thoughts about this book because with it being a sequel, I can't tell you too much. So Sing Me to Sleep is a YA fantasy series that features a romance, and in this we follow Saoirse, my brain says it both ways, so you'll probably hear me say it both ways. And she is a siren, and so essentially she has to choose between protecting her family and following her heart because her existence is illegal in this world. All the sirens have been killed off for being dangerous, and she, as far as she knows, she is the only one. So Saoirse disguises herself and lies about being a siren so she doesn't get killed, and she is training at this military school, and at night she works as an assassin. And so Saoirse ends up being at the top of her class and is headed for a really good position to work for the royal family. But then this blackmailer threatens her sister, and she takes the job working as a bodyguard for the prince, who is this guy on the cover. Initially they start off hating each other. Well, Saoirse hates the Prince Hayes because of what his father stands for. She figures he agrees with his father and stands for all the same things, but then she eventually finds out that Hayes is different and he wants different for the world. And what happens, some kind of romantic situation, and she kind of has to choose between the two. I probably did a horrible job at explaining that, but yeah, I tried. Anyway, so in this second installment, we kind of pick up where the first one left off, and not to give too much away, but for various reasons, Saoirse is wanted and she is in a lot of trouble. And so, yeah. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I can say. So as far as my thoughts on this book and this series overall, I love how fast paced this is. I think that it's easy to read, easy to jump into, easy to be immersed into. It's a fun time. It, like I said, it reads very quickly, and I love that in fantasy books. I just like when I fly through the pages and I don't even care how long it is, even though these books aren't long at all. The story is so good that you forget about page count, and I love when that happens. Now, in this particular installment, the will they, won't they of it all just got just a tinge annoying to me, and because I think it was annoying to me because I just wanted them to be together, and I'm like, quit playing with me. Just go ahead and be together. Y'all want to be together, I want y'all to be together. Why is this not happening already? Why are we drawing this out? I wanted everybody to be happy, and they wanted to be together, which would make them happy. So why are we not making that happen already? Why is this not a thing? And there was a betrayal that happened in the first book, and in this one it felt like the author was trying to give the betrayer a redemption arc, and baby, no, No, there's no forgiveness for the wrongs that this person did. There's no coming back from that. Like, absolutely not. No, don't do that. Mm-mm. Don't try to make me feel things for this person after you didn't strongly put me on the side of disliking them. Don't do that. We just gonna dislike them this whole book. And it felt like the author kept trying. She kept trying. She was like, yeah, like, but this is why he did. I don't care. I don't care why he did what he did. He did it, and he did it with his full chest. So no, no. I really enjoyed the ending of this though. I thought it had some good plot twists, some things that I did not see coming, because you can kind of, usually tell which direction the story was in, but this took a different direction than I was expecting a couple of times, and I really liked that. Like, surprise me, yeah, but like make it make sense. I hate when books try to like throw in plot twists and they don't really make sense. These made sense and they were surprising, and I love that for me. And there were times in this book where my girl Saoirse was just so frustrating, and I understand like why she was the way that she was, but sometimes I'm like, girl, do not make me side with Prince Hayes. Do not make me side with a man over you. Don't do that to me. Like, don't break my heart in that way. And sometimes she broke my heart in that way. And I'm just like, girl, get it together so I can continue to be on your side, because like, side with a man? No. No. I am happy that I did decide to read this series and give it a shot. I am very excited to see what else is coming from this author. I think Gabi Burton has a new book coming out in 2026, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm very excited to see what she does next. I think she writes great tension, great story, great plot lines, and I'm very here for it all. And I will be picking up and probably pre-ordering her next book, because this was just really good. I rated this book a 4 star, and I just feel like it wasn't, I didn't get that 5 star feeling, but like I don't think there's anything overly wrong with it. I had a great time. And even though this was YA, I don't feel like it fell into what a lot of YA is doing now, which is, not really working for me in the best way. But this one works. So yeah, I had a great time. 4 stars, great series, great time. Happy to be done. Another series marked off my list. And yeah, definitely recommend. Okay, so the next book that I want to talk about is Pulling Doubles, and that is by Christina C. Jones. This is the second book in the Wright Brothers series. This is a series of interconnected standalones. And so, trying to get comfortable, I'm struggling a little bit. In this one, we're following Devon. All Devon wants, besides a tall, fine husband and eventually a few babies, to fulfill her about to turn 30, running out of time, cute like family dreams, is to finish her year-long internship at University Hospital. She is excited about the experience, eager to learn, glad to help whenever she can. It should be easy, right? Well, it would be if it weren't for arrogant, know-it-all, always got something to say, Dr. Joseph Wright. Devin can't stand him, and if his attitude is any indication, the feeling is mutual. Or is it? Joseph doesn't do doctors or nurses or patients or anybody else who has anything to do with the hospital for that matter. University Hospital has infiltrated enough of his life, and the last thing he needs is a blurring of the lines between professional and private until smart, sexy, sassy nurse Devin Eccles comes along and stomps all over those lines. When you're pulling doubles with the person you hate to want so bad, something is bound to ignite. Let's talk about this. The first book in this series, which was called Getting Schooled, I think, I didn't really like. I ended up giving it 2.5 stars, but something told me to try again. And so I thought that I, would give this one a shot. It's a hospital romance. I usually like a hospital situation. And so, yeah, I immediately knew that I was going to like this story more than I liked getting to school, just reading it. It just felt different, and I was enjoying that. I thought it was giving. Okay, so the hospital setting was really cool. I love that. I'm always gonna be interested in that for whatever reason. It just does something good to my brain. And the main characters, Devin and Joseph, were, I liked them as people more than I think I liked the characters in the first one. But I did not enjoy the constant repetition about them liking each other, but not thinking the other one likes them. So it was multi POV, which I liked, but it was like we were reading the same thing twice because we would read a chapter from Devin, and she's like, "Yeah, I like him, but I don't think he likes me because of the way he's treating me." And then Joseph was like, "Yeah, I like her, but I don't think she likes me, and I can't like act like I like her because whatever." And it was just like, y'all are grown. Why y'all acting like this? And it just felt like every other sentence was repeating how much they liked the other one, but they weren't acting like it. So it was just a little frustrating. Joseph acted like a complete and total child, and that made me not like it because he was being mean to Devin because he liked her. Now I don't know who out here telling their kids that that's how you show that's how you show you like somebody, but absolutely not. I don't think that's okay when you little kids. I definitely don't think it's okay as grown ass people. So why are you being mean to her because you like her, Joseph? What? How old are you? Why would you do that? What? I didn't like that. And even though Joseph was Devin's boss and there are like power dynamics that you have to worry about and all of those types of things, being mean to her was not the answer. It just wasn't. It wasn't the answer. There was a trope at the end that I didn't like. It was doing so well. Well, kind of anyway. I felt like it was riding like maybe a 3.5, even with all of that I just said. And then we get to the ending and it does this trope. I already don't like the trope, period. But I can kind of deal with it if it's in an epilogue or if it's done in a certain way. And this certain way, I did not like. I saw it coming too. As soon as this one thing happened, I was like, I know it's about to happen. And it irritated me because I didn't want that to happen. I didn't want that to happen. I didn't realize that this one would have chronic illness rep in this because the first one has disability rep because the love interest, I don't forgot his name, but the first Wright brother, he is an amputee. He was in the military and I don't exactly remember what happened, but something happened with his leg and he now has a prosthetic. And in this one, Devin has diabetes. And so we watch her deal with this chronic illness and all of that. So I'm thinking the whole series has some kind of representation in it, which I like, but I'm trying so hard to like this series because there's so many good things about this series. Like I said, I'm here for the representation. I love that it is black romance. Like I'm here for that. But I just can't. Like this one was 3 stars. And so I'm wondering, is it just this series or is it Christina C. Jones? Because I don't know. Oh no. And 3 stars is not a bad rating. Like I would actually recommend any book that I rate 3 stars. And I usually do have 3 star reads in my recommendation videos because I think they were good books. They just weren't books that I loved and so whatever. But I'm going back and forth on whether I'm going to continue on in this series or not. There was a good setup for the third book, and we already know, like, you can tell what's going to happen, but it's a second chance. It's a second chance. And y'all know how I feel about second chances. I do not like them. I do not give them when it comes to like relationships and stuff. So I don't know. But this one is the bookish one, I think. This brother is the author, and the love interest owns like a bookstore or something like that, runs a bookstore. So I'm like, oh, it's a good setup, but I just I don't know. I might still try it just because these are usually short and I can get through it quickly. But yeah, I think for me to know if it's actually like the author, I'm gonna have to try another one of her series and see like if that one doesn't click with me, then maybe Christina C. Jones just isn't an author that I vibe with. But it could just be this series. I don't know. I have to test the theory. So yeah, 3 stars for Pulling Doubles. Now, let's talk about Nona. Let me get the book first. I don't know why I didn't do that. Here is Nona the Ninth. I am 156 pages into Nona the Ninth. I have been tandem reading it, and listening to the audiobook. I think that is the only way that this series is going to work for me, is having the audiobook alongside reading it physically. And I have no feelings about this. I've read 156 pages and I have absolutely no feelings about any of this. Nothing. I think that it is less confusing than Harold the Ninth was. So, that's already a plus in Nona's direction. But it's not entertaining me like Gideon the Ninth did at all. And I'm very disappointed as a whole when it comes to this series, because I just had heard all the great things. And then I read Gideon and it was a 4-star. And even though it was confusing, like, I just loved Gideon as a character so much. And so it just made it okay for me. And then we get to Hero and I'm like, what am I actually reading? Why? What? Absolutely not. And then I get to this and I just don't have any emotions. And that's very disappointing. So what have I decided to do? I've decided to set it down. I do think that I will pick it back up because I know some things that are going to happen in this book, and I just kind of want to see what happens. But for right now, I just no. I'm not wanting to pick this up, and if I'm trying to like make myself read it and I'm not wanting to pick it up, I'm just not gonna read. So I don't want that to be a thing. So yeah, I'm gonna set it down for now and I will pick back up from this place whenever I feel the need to. It's just gonna be a very slow progress, very slow situation. And I'll get through it eventually. But either way, this is going to be the last book in the series for me. It's the last one that's out, but apparently there's supposed to be a 4th book. Either if it ever comes out, I'm not gonna read it. Like, this will be my last Tamsyn Muir book. This will be my last book in the series. Like, I'm just done. I'm done. I guess I should tell you a little bit about what Nona is about. Even though this is the 3rd book in the series, I can tell you this because it just doesn't. Yeah. So in many ways, Nona is like other people. She lives with her family, has a job at her local school, and walks on the beach and loves walks on the beach and meeting new dogs. But Nona's not like other people. 6 months ago, she woke up in a stranger's body and she's afraid she might have to give it back. The whole city is falling to pieces. A monstrous blue sphere hangs on the horizon, ready to tear the planet apart. Blood of Eden have surrounded the last cohort facility and wait for the Emperor Undying to come calling. Their leaders want Nona to be the weapon that will save them from the 9 houses. Nona would prefer to live an ordinary life with the people she loves, with Pyrrha and Camilla and Palamedes, but also knowing that nothing lasts forever. And each night, Nona dreams of a woman with a skull painted face. Nona has no idea who or what she is. She woke up in this body 6 months ago, and they're trying to figure out who and what she is, and nobody knows. And she has a very childlike spirit because she doesn't know anything. They had to teach her how to eat, how to be a person, period. And so, yeah, we're just kind of going through that. And we're in this new setting, the city. There's something about zombies going on. I don't know. And I think the only reason why I'm not DNFing this is because the completionist in me wants to finish this out. And I also want to see this one thing that I know is like, I want to see how that's going to play out. And I think that could make me like Nona more than I liked Harrow. But as of right now, she's being set down. Yeah, yeah. And I will pick it back up eventually. And of course, you will know about that when it happens. Okay, and the last book that I'm going to talk about for this video is going to be Rebel Witch by Kristen Ciccarelli. This is the second book in the Crimson Moth series, the finale of the duology. And so this one picks up immediately where we left off in Heartless Hunter. And I guess I can say a little bit about Heartless Hunter. So on the night Rune's life changed forever, blood ran in the streets. Now in the aftermath of a devastating revolution, witches have been diminished from powerful rulers to outcasts, ruthlessly hunted due to their waning magic, and Rune must hide what she is, spending her days pretending to be nothing more than a vapid young socialite. Rue spends her nights as a Crimson Moth, a witch vigilante who rescues her kind from being purged. When a rescue goes wrong, she decides to throw off the witch hunters and gain intel by courting the handsome Gideon Sharp, a notorious and unforgiving witch hunter loyal to the revolution, who she can't help but find herself falling for. Gideon loathes the decadence and superficiality Rune represents, but when he learns the Crimson Moth has been using Rune's merchant ships to smuggle renegade witches out of the Republic, he inserts himself into her social circles by pretending to court her right back. He soon realizes that beneath her beauty and shallow facade is someone fiercely intelligent and tender who feels like his perfect match. Except, what if she's the very villain he's been hunting? Okay, so we have a witch and a witch hunter, and they're both using each other for information, and then eventually find out, hey, we might like each other. And Heartless Hunter was one of my favorite books of 2024. Okay, had to take a phone call. Then I had to take a break because my battery was dying. All the things. But we were talking about Rebel Witch. And so currently I'm at chapter 31, which is about 189 pages into this book. And my thoughts as of right now, from the beginning, I felt like I was not as invested as I was in Heartless Hunter, which is weird because I know the characters, I know the setup, I know what's going on, everything. So I'm not learning anybody. I already know everybody, and I really like Gideon. I really like Rune, and I just want them to be happy, want them to, get everything that they want, even though those things are conflicting. So I was very caught off guard that I wasn't feeling anything towards them or feeling invested in what was going to happen in this installment. And it feels like, the back and forth, the same thing that I was saying about Saoirse and Hayes in Drama with Dreams, I felt about Rune and Gideon. Just the back and forth, will they, won't they, of it all can sometimes be a little annoying, especially when it happens so often, like situations that just make them swap back and forth. They're like continuous. They're always going back and forth. And I know that this one is a little different because um this series is definitely a lot more cat and mouse. And um yeah, but what I will say, and this I felt this way about Heartless Hunter as well, the banter between Gideon and Rune, top tier. The one liners, top tier. Like at one point Gideon was talking his shit and, and I was like, yeah, you know what it is, Gideon, like, yeah, you know what it is. So I am enjoying that part of it, but nothing is making me want to pick this book up and continue. I set this book down and it has been like 2 weeks and I have no urge to pick this up and finish it. And that is breaking my heart because Heartless Hunter was in my top books of 2024, one of my favorite books. And to not feel that way about this one, and I don't exactly know where the storyline is going, but I'm not even disliking it. I'm just feeling nothing. And that kind of irritates me more than if I would rather feel strongly about a book either way than be very in the middle and just not having a lot of feelings at all. Like, I'm not enjoying that. So I will be continuing this, reading it slowly. Whenever I get the urge to pick it up and make some progress, I will be doing that. And whenever I eventually finish this book, you'll find out about it and we'll go from there. So, yeah, I'm having a time. Don't know if it's good, don't know if it's bad. I'm just here. Just here. So, yeah. And with all of that being said, it is time to finally wrap up this July reading vlog where I read some sequels, continued some series, finished some series, all the things. So we read When a Wolf Loves the Moon, and that was a 5-star for me, going to be one of my favorite books of the year for sure. We read Dark Restraint by Katee Roberts, and that was a 4-star, really good read. And then Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales, 3.5-star for me. Finished the Emily Wilde series, and then we read Pulling Doubles, and that was a 3-star for me. Drown Me with Dreams being a 4-star, finishing off that duology. I had a great time reading that series. Can't wait for what's next with the author. And then finally we have two, I guess you can call them soft DNFs, in Nona the Ninth and Rebel Witch. I don't even know if I want to say soft DNFs because I'm actively, I don't know, I'm putting them down for now. I'm picking them up whenever I feel like it. So whatever that is, that's what that is. So anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, anything that you do to support me and my channel. It is very much appreciated. I am trying to figure out how to be consistent around my flare-ups, but it just is what it is. So I thank you for coming back even with my sporadic posting. That's the word. So yeah, I hope you have the best day that you possibly can. Remember to take care of yourself, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.